Hello everyone and welcome into my craft space. Today we're going to have a play I've been wanting to do for a while, and this is the first chance I've had to do it. So we are going to play with some transparency films, some alcohol inks, and these die cut cathedral windows that are Tim Holtz Biggs dies. I cut them out of cardboard and then I used a texture fade, a 3D texture fade, and put them through that. So it's super thin, nothing like what cardboard or chipboard would be like. But we're going to try and make some stained glass windows with some alcohol inks and some transparency film. Now the transparency film is really cool. I got this in a thrift store. And it's a whole pack. I think I paid $2 for it in a thrift store. And these were used before for like overhead projectors. You can actually put them through your copiers and those kinds of things, but we really don't use them much anymore. So they just get cast away from, offices or schools or wherever. And they're in the thrift stores, in the office sections, and this is like 100 sheets, so I'll be set for a while. Today we're just going to play with one, but this is where I get mine, and you can probably get yours too. I don't know what the year is on this. It says it was made in the USA, Apollo Trade, and it tells you a compatibility chart because you can print. So you can print your digis on these with your inkjet printers, laser printers, all the things. Just have a good play and see how it goes. We're going to play with some alcohol inks today. So without further ado, we'll set that down there. I just took out one sheet and both sides look the same. So sometimes there's a more glossy side and sometimes there's not, but this one just looks fine. Now when you're playing with alcohol inks, the packaging says to, make sure you're in a ventilated area, yada, yada, yada. You can wear gloves if you want to. I don't tend to do that. You can use one of the old style daubers that is square or like rectangular, or you can use a round. I'm just going to use a round because that's what I've got right here, and I will get a new cover here. We'll kind of press it around. So the rectangular ones are about this size, and they do have these pads for them. I remember back in the scrapbooking days when those first came out, we used to just press the inks right into the dauber here and rub it around. So you can do that too. We might not even need it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just be ready if we do. Okay, so those pads are really easy to change. Just press it right on there. It's Velcro, sticks to there. Now, when you're using alcohol inks, their base is an alcohol. So if you want to spray like you would spray a regular ink with water, you want to spray it with your isopropyl alcohol. So I just have a little bottle here, and it's just a little mini mister, but I do have it in a bag marked with alcohol, so I know that that's what's in there. Don't get any surprises. So my plan here is I have some of these Adirondack alcohol inks. I also have some that I got at Hobby Lobby because they were on clearance recently. But I do love all of my colors. I'll move this tray here so you can see my stash. This is what we're working with. These are the ones that were on sale for 99 cents at Hobby Lobby. So I did get a couple different variations of colors of those. I have the silver mixatives from Ranger. I have the pearl, and I think somewhere I have the gold. I don't know where it is. But anyways, I'm not going to play with those metallics. Just want to play with the colors. My idea is to kind of make it look like a church window. You could use it on cards, like Christmas cards, or even Christmas junk journals. All right, so I'm not wearing gloves. I'm just going to splash this around, and I'm going to make this whole page. Even though I don't plan to use the whole page right now, I might as well make the whole page and just have it on hand. So I'm just kind of daubing some colors on here, and then I'm using my alcohol to kind of spritz, and you can see that moves it around a little bit. It's going to dry in some kind of cool variations. You can use your ink dauber if you want to move the colors or maybe make a pattern. You could set some kind of a photo underneath, like a color chart, if you wanted to do something in a shape. I just kind of want it to be kind of random. This one is the color Current. So I'm just going to kind of daub it. Now I did just miss, but I have paper down on my desk just in case if I do that. That way it can catch it. And I'm going to kind of mess this around. Now it does kind of smell like alcohol. I worked in the medical field for a very long time. That smell does not bother me. If it bothers you, make sure you do it outside or in a well-ventilated area. And just know, as some of the colors run together, you might get a little bit of mud. That's okay. You can also use one of these guys just to blow it around and get some different patterns. You can really splotch it out. All right, and now I'm going to use some, what color is this? Some kind of blue. Sailboat blue. Ugh. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. And I'm just gonna keep like mixing my colors around. And this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet because it's like standard paper size. So I'm trying to remember to do the bottom here. And it's drying relatively quickly. So remember, don't use your heat tool on transparency film. That will melt it probably. I haven't actually tried it, but don't do it. I don't think it would be good. Spritz with your alcohol here, and then you can blow the edges here, trying to get some fun patterns. And then again, we're going to sit this cathedral frame right on top of there, so you won't be able to see everything, but it'll blend kind of nice. That one is slate. What's this one? Oh, there we go. It's copper. I don't want to do copper. We already did currant. This one's cranberry. Let's try some cranberry. Why not? And I'm not really trying very hard to get the colors in a certain spot or a certain way. I'm just kind of letting it happen naturally. So don't feel like you have to manipulate the colors or anything. You can just kind of let it do its thing. That red kind of took over, didn't it? That's cranberry. Might need to put some more blue or something, but it's going to color it really good. I don't think I have a lot of alcohol left in here. It's just kind of spritzing, so that's really drippy. We'll go ahead and blow on here. This will also kind of help dry it. Just blows the air, kind of lets you get a better splatter pattern. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? This one is meadow green. Let's put some green. And when you put it on here, you can kind of hold this up if you want the drips. You can splash and then drip, splash and drip. And that will help it kind of spray out a little bit more. You can also get closer if you want this like just in one certain area. I'm kind of just letting it be random. Now mixing that green with the red is kind of making a brown color, so it helps to know what your colors are going to do. If you don't want brown, then don't mix colors together. That would make a brown. If you don't mind, then just let it do its thing. And if you want to focus just on one or two colors, that makes a really great pattern too. I'm just using the colors that I have since this is such a big sheet. I'm just letting it be whatever it wants to be. This one's called lettuce. Let's do a little bit of this lettuce green. And then I have one called eggplant. We'll check that out. Don't have much over here. On the edges, we'll put some there. And again, I'm just gonna let it blow out. I think I like using the air better than the alcohol, but maybe once it's dried, I could put a little bit of the alcohol on it, and we'll see what that looks like. This would be really fun for doing some spooky Halloween stuff, like letting it splatter. I quite like this a lot. Super fun. Let's do some of this eggplant. Eggplant, I'm guessing, will be kind of like a purpley color. Just let it fill in some of these areas that don't have any ink. Now this doesn't use a ton of ink, so you know, these little jars, I don't know how much they cost anymore. I haven't bought any for a while, aside from these ones that were on clearance, and that one's quite messy, so I haven't opened it. But they did have just regular sized bottles. You get these, what are they? 0.68 ounces, and it was just 99 cents on clearance, $3.99 regularly. I don't know what Ranger charges for theirs anymore, but I'm sure it's about the same. I've always used Ranger products. I haven't ever used this other brand, so I can't really give much of a comparison just yet, but I do love having a variety of colors to play with, especially for doing something like this. Now that purple's kind of taken over. It's funny. Let's see. What do they have? Let's see one of these. We'll do. This one's called Sky Blue. We'll see what it looks like. The bottle is very different, that's for sure. Looks kind of like that sailboat blue. It definitely pours out more at a time. It's got a bigger nozzle at the end, which can be okay. Can let you splatter more. Look at that. Okay, I'm trying to decide what I want right there. I think maybe a little more of that blue. What's this blue? Nope, that's gray. I don't really want gray. This one is wine red. I don't know. That's gonna take over. We'll just do a couple little drips. Wow, that's really dark. I guess wine is dark. All right, we'll let it splatter out. Ooh, that's fun. Look at that. All right, that one's a little bit off camera. My apologies. These ones are better, and they are more in camera, fortunately. All right, let's put just a little bit more of this blue. What's this one? Is this one blue too? No, that's eggplant. We already have lots of eggplant. Let's put a little more blue, kind of like in the blue. The blue mixes with the green and the red very, very well, so I feel like it's a good color to have. We'll just do a few drips, and then you gotta move quickly if you want to get those splatters. Now this would be really great in your junk journals too. You can overlay this just like you would vellum. So this is just fun, making a background. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there. I'm kind of happy with that. Now it's also going to look different depending on what you overlay it with. So if you're laying it on craft, like this color is back here, or if you're laying it on white, it will, you know, the colors will be a little different. They'll show up brighter on white than they will on craft. And if you're using like a file folder to put it on, let's see what that would look like here. I've got one. So like this kind of creamy color. Now we can really see those colors. Look at that. That is amazing. I love that. I really like this area here and these splatters. This is really cool. I like this kind of teal color. Now I did get some on my hands. It will wash off. I'm not worried about that. You can also, you know, blot this if it's not drying. You don't want to rub too much because I think it would just come off. But let's see. Let's just do a little bit here. Okay, so it's mostly dry. It dries really quickly. Anywhere that there was like some bigger splots, like right there, is still a little tacky. We can take some off. So if you have areas that has too much and you want it a little lighter, you can blot it like this. Just comes right off. You could spritz some alcohol on there to re-wet it and kind of try to maneuver it a little bit more. I think actually I'm really pretty happy with this. So let's see what we need to do to cut out some pieces here. I think that's going to be so fun. All right. Now on these little cathedral pieces, I think I kind of want to add a little bit of some more interest. So we could paint these with black gesso. To pick up the texture a little better. I thought I had 4 of them. Oh boy. All right, well, I will find that, and then we'll put this video on fast forward so we can get the black gesso going. Now that we have our die cuts all covered in gesso, I just did the one side because we're going to put something behind it. We can do many things from here. We could use some texture paste, we could use grit paste, we could use wax, which is what I'm going to do. We could use foundry wax, we could emboss them with like heat embossing, but this already does have textural embossing on there. And I just kind of did a thin coat of the gesso, tried to get it covered as best I could. I wasn't worried too much if I missed a couple of spots because I'm going to put some of this wax on it. We also could go over it a little bit with some black soot ink and just see what that looks like and touch up any of those places that maybe, you know, I didn't get so good. You can put it all along the edge here, which I didn't get very good. So definitely easy to just add some ink, and you can feel free to use different mediums on the same project. So this is just gonna help me touch up a few of those spots, but the wax will do the same thing as well. So if you have some really visible spots, you can either do a second coat of gesso, you can add some ink, you can not worry about it because it's just going to be whatever is, that's just a layer of the cardboard, whatever is that you're putting on next. So you can see the ink really does kind of help fill in. That is just a layer cardboard. This is corrugated cardboard, and then I've squished it down, so it does have a lot of layers. All right, we'll just kind of touch a few more spots here with the ink, and then we'll get on with it. I think the waxes that I'm going to use, they're by Prima. I think the colors I'm going to use is maybe Old White and some graphite. My usual go-to is Firebird, and if these don't give me the look that I want, then I'll use the Firebird. But these are the waxes. And these are Prima products. I am a reseller for Prima, so if you need anything, message me, or you can also find them online. Lots of places sell Prima products. This one, look, this one I haven't even used yet. So, ooh, when you open it, don't drop the lid. Have I used this one? No. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna poke, and that should come right out. And we're going to poke this one, and that should come right out. And when you use the wax, they used to come in these little tins, and I loved the tins, but they said they're trying to make it last a little longer, so this is a way that less air can get into the product. So it's supposedly better. So they would know. We're just going to squeeze a little bit out. Oh, maybe I didn't poke it good enough. There we go. And you can use gloves if you want to. I like to just squeeze a little tiny bit and see if I need more after that. You can always get out more. So then, just gonna rub it over this. Ooh, I love that actually. You can use a brush for this, a makeup sponge. You can use your fingers like I am. You can use, yeah, you can pounce it. You can do whatever you'd like. I just like to use my finger. I can feel it really rubs it right into the texture there. Need a little bit more. I guess maybe I should have did the white first. Now I'm gonna have to really clean my hands. It does wash off your hands. It takes a couple days to fully get it off. But I usually don't mind. And I love the look that it brings. Now, I kind of want this to look like an old church window to put maybe on a Christmas card or a junk journal. I think it would make a wonderful focal piece for the front cover of a journal. Maybe even make like a see-through type of little window using like the negative space of your die cut. I think that would be just really awesome. Okay, so let's do just a little bit more. You can put this on a palette too. I sometimes just put it on my work surface. And don't give it a second thought. Keep it easy. Don't complicate it. Just have fun and don't worry. This is just the way that I do it too. If you have another way that works better, do that. My hope is just to inspire you and show you some different ways to do things. Maybe show you some of the ways that I do things. Ugh, look at that. I love that. Now you can rub this wax on the side if you need to. I like to just make sure I used up everything I took out. Looks like I did. Kind of turn it all around, make sure that you got it in all the areas that you wanted to. Now we're going to really see the contrast because I'm going to go ahead and use the old white on the next one. And I don't know what we'll do on the third one. We'll see which one we like better, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to try and wipe some of this off. And I just have a sensitive baby wipe, so it's just mostly water in this wet wipe. All right, let's see what this old white looks like. Let's do it on this one. The reason I changed my mind was because this one kind of tore at the top. And I think the white is really going to show all the details. Oh yes, look at that. So it's kind of giving it like a whitewash. And you can leave it really vibrant white like it was at first, or you can just kind of rub it in. I'm just kind of hoping to pick up the textures and the texture fade that I put on here. You can see there's kind of some little texture pieces there, and those are kind of what I'm hoping to pick up. We'll see. Maybe the other one we'll do in rose gold, or I don't use rose gold enough and I love it. And it's going to be so much fun to see what these look like over that acetate that we just did. Such a fun project. And very easy. You can do a lot of them all at one time. So you do your acetate. I mean, it is kind of mixed media and messy, but really it won't add too much of a thickness to your card because this cardboard is really smashed. But you can do this with any, maybe you just want to die cut it. You could use like a textured cardstock. You could skip the texture fade, just use a textured cardstock and cut the window out of cardstock and go from there. Rub in some wax or even just some ink. Pick up that texture a little bit. Or even emboss it. So many things you could do. Okay, now if some areas have a little more white than what you want, you can just use a baby wipe and kind of rub it back off. Kind of even it out. And if you decide you put this on and you don't like it, you can always go over it again. You can paint it again with gesso and start over. Try a different color, or just have fun manipulating the colors and mixing them together. If you're going to mix them though, just give it a little chance to dry. They are permanent once they're dry, these waxes are, so just let it dry a little bit. I think it kind of looks cool though. We'll see. I kind of like how it's like we've got a dark one and then we've got a light version. Now let's do a rose gold version. So there's, whoops, right into the wax. Good job, good job. Okay, here we go. We'll do a rose gold version. I think this one's gonna look really neat. I love these waxes. They have a wonderful smell to them. And they're designed that way. If you watch any of Finnabear's videos, she'll tell you they actually added a scent so that it was not an item that would be smelly to use. So they wanted it to be a good experience, and I think it was a wonderful idea. All right. I'm really liking this rose gold. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's great. It would look really great with gold, regular gold or copper too. You could use, I know some people use different types of waxes. Foundry wax from Tim Holtz is available. There's all kinds of waxes out there, so use what you have. These ones are Prima, Art Alchemy, Finnabear, wax, whatever you want to call them. Finnabear is the designer, Art Alchemy is the line, and it's a wax. All right, look at that. That covered really nicely and really quickly too. I love that. Okay. So now, I mean, you could go around, if you have leftovers, just go around the edges. Make sure the edges got nice and coated on the inside, since this is kind of a window and it's going to peek out. I don't like to waste the product as much as I can. Kind of a frugal crafter. All right, there's that. And I mean, we could even go through and add some of this to this one if we wanted to. Maybe just add it on the outside so it has a little bit of some color. Not staying totally true to the white, but that's okay. There's no rules. You can do what you want. Okay. Just put a little bit of that up there. Okay, so that's how that one looks. And now you can hit them with your heat tool a little bit if you want to, just to make sure they're nice and dry, but really it doesn't take too long to dry. So I think if we start with this one, move our way that way, it will already be dry. So I'm going to move this out of the way, since it's now got wax and paint all over it. And I think it is easier to see on some kind of a background, so we could bring another one forward. I dropped that lid on the ground there. All right, we'll get that in a minute. So we'll bring this back. This is all nice and dry now. I love it. We will bring a little piece of this file folder. You can tell I've been working with file folders a lot lately. Have them all over my desk here. Okay. So you can take these and you can kind of position them however you want to, get more colors if you want to, or you know, move it around until you've got like that perfect splatter pattern that you like. You could also cut it in quarters and see if you know, that's the best distribution to get all of your pieces in there. Now I'm just going to sit it on here and loosely cut it out. You could trace with the negative space of your die cut, but I don't feel like that's very necessary. I'm just going to trim right around. Okay, just like that. Ooh, that's fun. All right, so let's do the other ones. And then these little pieces you can save to put somewhere in a junk journal. Just kind of decorate the edges if you want to. Or, I mean, I suppose you could toss them. Then your craft room wouldn't look all crazy like mine. All right, this one, I'm going to go this way. I think the other one I went the other way. You can turn it however you would like to. Ooh, and I'm getting the wax onto the acetate. So I have a junk journal that I did that's all about art. And I think I may use the leftovers for in there. Be really cool. Art splashings. You could use it to make, you could do this technique to make little Christmas ornaments if you have a die cut. That would be really fun. It is fall time right now, so the end of October, and people are kind of starting to think about holiday crafting and cards. I haven't started holiday crafting yet. I'm still having fun doing some fall crafts. I've just finished a couple of fall journals, and yeah, I've really been having fun doing that. Let's see, where do I want this one? I think I want it just right there. Now each one of these is going to be uniquely different in its own, just because of the nature of this splattering, and I think that's great. They're all made in the same process, but different in their own right, just like art. So I think that's so cool. And you can see we easily made 3 in not that much time. Of course, a couple of things were fast-tracked for the video's purpose, but that's okay. All right, so then we're just going to go ahead and glue these on, and we'll see how it looks when they're finished. So there we have it, 3 cathedral windows all done. And if you were to put them, say this were your junk journal, here I'll zoom back out. If this were your junk journal, you were to use them on your cover, they would look something sort of like this. I do like the fact that it's translucent, so you can see through the other side there. And we do have some different looks. You could paint it with white gesso if you wanted your window frame to be white, or if you don't have gesso, you could also use some sort of like acrylic paint or something like that. So I'll show you each one how they turned out. I absolutely love them. I think they'd be a great centerpiece. You could even make a little hinge and make it open. That would be kind of fun. You could have used, I used a liquid adhesive. I used the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. You can use any of your liquid adhesives to glue this. It's just cardboard. You could use, I suppose, a tape runner or a Xyron or any of those things to run your die cut piece through. I wouldn't run the acetate piece through because there's these holes here, and those would be sticky as well, so you wouldn't want that. You could use double-sided tape. I just didn't want to mess with it where there was all these intricate details. Adhesive is one of those things. Do whichever one works best for you. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you like my cathedral windows, and we'll maybe try making some of your own with alcohol inks or however you want to make them. You could even just splash paint on your acetate and try it that way and see if that works. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, like, subscribe, share the video out there. My channel is growing. We hit 3K and we're still growing. I'm so excited and can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with me here. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me which one was your favorite and if you're going to try it. I would love to know. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.